Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. Patreon.com/FMOFM podcast is where you can find all of the bonus material that your heart would desire.
That's true.
It's very true.
They're very lovely people on there, too.
Oh, yeah. Good people. You're going to meet and interact with only the finest humans in there.
Only the finest.
And you might get married to people.
That's very plausible.
We are known, our Patreon specifically is known as the Love Matching, and also the Love Making website.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
So you get bonus material, you get bonus episodes, behind the scenes stuff. A spouse.
Yep.
Yep.
We organize the start, middle, and end of your relationship.
And
Right.
then-
Is that safe to say?
We organize your life for you.
I think we're underselling it, but yeah.
Most
I think
shows,
so. Yeah.
shows will give you a bonus episode. We'll plan your entire life on patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
You're welcome.
We love you guys. Here's the thing. Let me tell you what will always be free. No matter how much Disney reaches out, no matter how much the Florida Board of Tourism reaches out, these headlines, baby, are always going to be
Always free.
They're never going to cost you anything. Cameron, you ready?
They're not free to you two.
Come, you better.
Okay, headlines.
Headlines.
All right, so we have a Florida man
Yep.
having some trouble with his plumbing.
Okay.
Been there, baby.
You know, housing can be difficult.
Right.
You know, just owning a house, selling a house, all of the above. And this guy just is trying to live in his house, right? He's just trying
Just trying to survive.
Just trying to survive.
Yeah.
But his pipes are housing an iguana.
Okay.
And so an iguana
I never
keeps-
had that problem. I had septic issues.
for 4 days is trying to get an iguana out of his toilet.
Wait, what?
For 4 days, this Florida man is trying to get an iguana out of his toilet. And what's happening is when I first read it, I'm like, is he like jumpy? And every time he goes up there, he like psychs himself out.
Oh, and then the iguana slides in?
No, what happened is that the iguana, every time he comes into the bathroom, the iguana goes back in the hole in the toilet.
Oh,
In
my
the water hole?
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
in
guess
the
because
water hole.
the thing, there's a
And
pocket
he's like
of air.
living in the pipe. And so then he'll just come up and chill in the toilet. But
I mean-
when the guy comes to get him out, he swims back down.
Oh my god.
Has he flushed? Has he tried to flush?
I don't know. How do you flush an iguana?
I mean, here's the thing.
They're sturdy in pipes.
Yeah, and they're full of muscle.
Yeah.
They are.
And they can just fight back against that water stream.
I mean, has he tried to drop a?
Well,
A present?
on day 3, he grabbed him successfully.
No, really?
His foot and his tail, but the lizard did that old lizard trick. Popped his tail
Popped
off
his tail off.
No.
Yeah.
and got away. And so
and
then
popped his foot off too.
Probably.
so finally he had to call in an expert, a trapper.
Yeah, you do that on day
from-
one.
Yeah.
Trapper from Iguana Lifestyles. Okay, so this is
Ew.
a business, and here's what they do. And I'm gonna save you some money.
Free plug.
If you ever
Gross.
find an iguana in your toilet, this is what you do.
Okay.
He put a stick in it, a strategically placed stick,
Amen.
and it crawled out.
Wait, what?
He literally put a stick in the
Okay.
toilet.
How much was this?
I don't know. I guarantee you paid hundreds of dollars
yeah.
for this. Whether it was consultant fees, stick fees,
What I'm wondering is, did the guy,
disposal.
or did he grab a stick from the guy's yard, like just to
Probably.
add insult?
Because then you're leasing the stick.
He's like, bro, this is all you had to do. You just
Here's
grab
the,
the stick.
okay. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know why iguanas hate sticks,
Right.
but love.
Well, he had something to finally climb out.
Oh,
It
like
was
a, like
just
a
a-
little ladder.
A little
He was
ladder.
asking the guy for help, and the guy was like,
I got a
coming out.
potty.
Look,
Yeah.
there's a picture of him. on a stick.
Oh, with a half tail. Gross.
Oh God, I
What?
got chills, bro.
What? Now you're not gonna be able to use your
I don't like that at all.
toilet in the middle of the night without thinking about it.
So if you live in Florida currently, that's a new fear we just unlocked for
Yeah.
you.
Right. Alligators in the pool is very normal.
Mhm.
Iguanas in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's
That
new.
sounds like a kid's book.
That's the new noise.
That does sound like a kid's book. I mean, here's the
Oh,
thing.
man.
I would have to move. I would move
You think so?
if they didn't get it out successfully, and I had to
Wow.
live with fear.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So if they go, we don't know where it went.
I'll go deuces. Call the agent. I'm not going to sit down and
wait, is this why? Okay.
why I'm
Well,
That's
moving.
why you're moving.
I'm not
This
going to
might
sit.
be why you're moving.
I'm not going to sit down to read my book, and then have a little nipple
right.
on my
Pardon?
on my bottom.
What'd you say?
Nibble. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. A little nibble
Okay.
on my bottom. Okay.
Whatever you
I
got
heard
down
something
there.
different. I don't want to know what you
I
have
don't
down
either.
there.
I'll move. Okay.
I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
All right. So our next one. Good Lord. We
Oh,
learned so
God.
much about Wayne tonight.
For real.
So anyways, our next one, we have two Florida teens.
Okay.
All right. And they just want to bond together.
Right.
They're new to the area.
Okay.
Best friends.
Yep.
And they want to bond together, so they do a little burglary together.
Okay.
That's fine.
They
Yep.
find this house that didn't have anybody in it. They rip out the back screen.
Nice.
Leave their bicycles right outside the window.
Okay.
BMXs.
Getaway.
Mhm.
Right, the getaway vehicle. But the problem was the bicycles were what the homeowner actually saw. He was golfing.
Okay.
He was
Oh my
on the
goodness.
golfing field.
Course?
Golf
Yep.
grass.
The golfing
fairway,
court.
most likely.
Right.
Yeah,
Nope.
he was on the golf court, and from however far away he was, he saw these bicycles at his house.
He's
like,
I
"That's
don't
not
own
right."
two
I
bikes.
can't ride a bike. Whose bike is that?
Right, and so he went home. Him and his golfing buddy went in the house.
Yep.
Noticed that like things have been like messed up and
I don't own
ransacked.
two teens either.
Right. And that his friend saw these two guys in hoodies run out the door, so they chased them. They get in the truck. They start chasing. They split off. The two kids split up, and they're chasing one of them, and they eventually lose them. This
Nice.
other one, though,
Nice.
he realizes that his friend lost his Gucci sandal.
Oh, you got to
Right.
get that. Because
Okay.
when you buy those, they stamp your name, your social.
Right.
Right. That's an
On them.
ID tag, basically.
So he lost his Gucci sandal, so
Okay.
he had to go back to the
Mhm.
house
I get
to
it.
get his Gucci sandal.
and the police were there.
So what he did was he talked to a neighbor
Mhm.
and told the neighbor, because I think the neighbor saw him, and he said, well, actually, I was just caught by the husband of someone I was having relations with,
okay.
and I need a
Wow.
ride out of the area.
Nice. I like it.
And the neighbor's like, no
No.
thanks. And so he jumped.
Yeah.
So the kid grabbed his bicycle and just started riding away.
I mean,
Yeah, but I mean,
Did
he
he
did
get the sandal?
caught. No, I don't think he got the sandal either.
Oh.
He was caught. The canines got him.
I have a.
Oh, no.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Found him.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Here's
canines
the,
found him.
They did get him, though.
Right.
Yeah,
they ripped
I
him to
bet.
shreds. No,
Jesus.
they just sniffed him out.
here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Just gave him a little nipple.
Okay, here's the thing.
Right.
Let me ask you guys something.
Right.
What is the most valuable thing that you would return to the scene of the crime for? Like if you left it behind, you just robbed a house, and
A
you left
baby.
something, a baby,
Yeah.
for
I'd say-
Josh.
I'd
Cameron,
say
how
a
about you?
Baby?
Yeah, probably my baby. Yeah.
Because I would have said
Yeah.
you can't pick the same answer. I was going to say a
Oh.
Gucci slipper,
Okay.
but now I can't say that
Oh.
because
Cam's would be lemon pepper rotisserie from Publix.
That's true.
Yep.
Actually, the Mojo is really
The
good.
a
Mojo?
little spicy.
I believe it's
a little
Mojo.
spicy.
But
It's Mojo in this case.
Yeah, I just think it's I think it's pretty gutsy though. To be honest, it's a great bonding exercise for these friends.
Right.
But
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go back for a Gucci sandal,
Yep.
flip flop
The
well, you
Gucci-
don't do a B&E in sandals. Rule one.
That is true. You should
on
know
a
that.
bike, first
Yeah,
of all,
right.
the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah.
You need to up your shoe wear.
Yep.
Yeah.
You also need to up your getaway vehicle.
hmm
That's your lesson that you're going to learn from us today. This
Come
is
on.
a teaching moment. Take it and do what you need
You do
to with it.
Converse because everybody has Converse.
And,
Amen.
and from the Sandlot,
hmm
that's what makes you super fast.
No, those are British BK Knights, right? British
Doing
Knights.
BK Nights.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, well,
They
this
look
is-
like Converse.
This is free advice.
I never saw the
the-
movie.
It's free advice.
All right, our next one we have a Florida man. that was in his truck.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't his truck. He stole this truck
That's fine.
from a
That's
nearby
okay.
neighborhood and then rammed down a fence
okay.
at an airport in St. Pete.
Yep.
And then was casually driving down the runway, just kind of
Okay.
slowly checking out all the planes. Officers were, realized
He's a plane guy.
he's not
Yeah,
supposed to be
okay,
here, though.
yeah.
He might be a plane guy.
Early
but
for the show.
he's not
Early
an
for the
official
Sun and
plane
Fun.
guy, at least. So they, try to pull him over. He speeds off.
Okay.
He ends up speeding through the Coast Guard part of the airport, which is like
Wow.
fenced off from the other part.
Right.
So
I'm
he
learning
goes,
so much about airports.
he
Yeah.
crashes through the Coast Guard section.
This is his second gate he's crashed
Right.
through.
He
Yep.
ends up
It's
in
a
the
good truck.
hangar
Oh.
and then gets out on foot and then ends up breaking into
Please say
a
a plane.
C-130.
That's what I'm talking about.
A C-130 Coast Guard giant
Yes.
airplane.
This guy's committed a heist.
Yes,
and
I
then
love it.
he gets in the cockpit.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's trying to get away with it, but at that point,
He
That-
realizes he doesn't know how to fly a plane.
well, it has different controls than the pickup truck.
yeah,
Right.
he's like, I thought this would be the same as my truck that I just stole. No, but the officers caught up with him at that point and were able to arrest him. But
he gets in the cockpit
Yeah.
and then he's like, my Gucci sandal.
right, how bad is airport security? I mean, we know it's annoying for us. Like
Yeah.
they're watching everybody inside, but they're not worried about anybody just ramming gates
Dude,
down.
he got
outside.
through 2 gates in a truck and then jumped in a plane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got into a plane, into the cockpit.
I
of
feel like planes
into
should
a
have
military
lock.
plane.
That's true.
I mean, sort of military.
But here's the thing. I know we don't make a habit of siding with criminals,
right.
Okay.
but I like the confidence.
Oh, I love
Well,
the
I love the
confidence.
confidence.
He got in the pilot seat and was like, let's just give it a shot.
right.
Yeah. I
Let's see
think
what
that's a lot of
happens.
GTA though.
That's true.
Like a lot of
Yeah.
video games.
That is
and
pretty GTA.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
GTA.
At that point, he thought he was living in it.
Amen.
Yeah.
So something kind of related, another story that's kind of related.
C-130.
We had 3 guys that were on 4-wheelers,
Okay. That's
Fun.
a gang.
and that is a 4-wheeler gang.
Yeah.
And so they were kind of, I guess, doing some reckless driving.
Mhm.
Officers try to pull them over.
Yeah.
Well, two
That
of
ain't
the
happening.
4-wheeler stops. The other one just goes away.
Those are the ones with drugs.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He just takes off, but then he decides to grab a beer and then come back to the traffic stop and was waving his beer at the cops and going, "Come and get me." And
Oh my
then
God.
turns
Teaser.
around on his
A
4-wheeler. You're on a 4-wheeler.
Little
I mean,
teaser.
like, right. I mean, but that's embarrassing. You're waving your beer. Come and get me, cops.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they did. They,
Oh, okay.
Of course
Yeah.
they did.
yeah, I mean, he ended up. He actually did
He got pretty far.
run away from him. They actually had to get him from his house.
Oh, okay. He made it home. I think
So-
he wins.
I think
Isn't that
Yeah.
like reaching base?
He's like, home base. And they're
Yeah.
like, dang it. Not
Oh,
again.
he called base.
Dang
Oh.
Well, that's the thing about cops.
and then he's still taunting them. Like,
A lot of
Right.
people don't realize this. Cops can't come in your home unless they're invited.
Right.
That's vampires. Actually,
Oh,
yep.
crap.
Mhm. You've been not inviting cops and
I don't
inviting
know.
vampires.
Yeah, I guess so.
I
I got,
come to his house
Yeah.
a lot.
that makes a lot of sense.
That does.
Now that I think about it.
All right. We have one local Florida man,
Okay.
2 women tourists. This is
Okay.
what the article's
This is going to
calling
end
them.
good.
Yeah.
And 1 male tourist.
Okay.
Okay. 4 people total.
Okay.
Yes.
A priest, a rabbi, and
Right.
a, okay.
So 3 tourists
Yeah.
Yes.
and a local man.
Gotcha.
Okay. A tour guide.
Right. And so they're out having a good time,
Mhm.
having some drinks at a bar in Key West.
Okay.
It ends up with, or the night ends with this local man pushing one of the women who was passed out in a wheelbarrow back to the hotel room.
Okay.
Okay. So many images.
Right.
when it
Yeah.
are
You
in
have
my
4
head.
people. They're
Yeah.
all drunk.
Yep.
One of them's so drunk they're passed out.
Yeah.
So they're getting pushed
and a
and transport-
wheelbarrow.
Right.
in a
Okay.
wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, going back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
But the local guy, he's just rude, I think. He's insulting
Okay.
her. He's pouring beer on her
Oh, that's
while you're
disrespectful.
transporting her in, a
Shame.
three-legged or three-wheeled,
Yeah.
Right.
yard tool.
Right.
Yes, it
That's
is.
just rude.
I have a lot of questions.
That was Wayne's
I have
nickname
a
in
lot
high
of-
school.
So,
Yeah. It was.
a three-wheeled yard tool. And so So the male tourist, said,
Bops
"Hey,
him.
you need to stop being disrespectful." Became combative, started fighting with this guy.
Good. Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
the other guy's pouring beer on her
Rude.
while she's passed out. And so they get into this fight. What does the local Florida man do? He makes us proud. He not only pushes the guy to the ground, he pushes both of women to the ground.
Okay.
He pushed the man down, choked him, and then bit off part of his ear.
Oh my God.
This guy's a psychopath.
Okay.
I mean, he's a psychopath.
He takes
Did you mention Florida Tourism was contacting us?
Yeah, here's the thing.
takes-
Okay,
Go ahead.
imagine you're on vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
You come to Florida, you know the risk involved.
Mhm.
You end up so drunk that you're in a wheelbarrow.
That's
And
got
the guy pushing you attacks
Yeah.
both your friends
Yep.
and bites off one of their ears.
Right.
Where
That's
does
crazy.
Pretty much sums it up.
this whole ending? I don't care. I'm wondering, where did the wheelbarrow come from?
Are you
Yeah.
guys saying wheelbarrow?
I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean, that's how I've said it my entire life.
Wheelbarrow.
yeah, I know that now, but you said barrel in the
I'm
beginning.
Googling it.
Don't Google it. You're
I'm
going to be
Googling
wrong.
it right now. dude.
Wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Don't do it.
he is being arrested. He was found in the hotel room.
With a wheelbarrow?
Crap,
Aggravated.
it is. Dude, what?
Yeah.
I told you.
What?
You've been saying wheelbarrow.
My whole life.
No wonder you never bought the right thing.
I bought it's like a
Bought some
barrel
old
of wheels.
wooden keg.
Dude, wait, I'm having an epiphany right now. I'm sorry. We'll get back to the felony in a second.
Breakdown.
Yeah.
Dude, my whole life I've been saying this in front of crowds of people, and you guys tell me now live
How
on
often
the air
do you say
Oh, he's-
wheelbarrow?
at
at
least-
the gardening conventions.
Yeah. Once a week.
How do you think I'm paying the bills,
I don't know what a barrow is, to be honest.
You've never been in a wheelbarrow race with him?
dude? I kid you not. When you said it the first time, Cameron, I thought you were saying it wrong, and I wasn't going to make fun of you. But I made a mental note, like, he can't say that word.
Here's the thing. I only said it about you guys because I thought it was barrel too.
Okay. Well, then we're in good company.
Okay, so this guy go to prison.
I think I said the word and then I read it. I'm like, oh crap, it's barrow.
yeah. So he's in prison.
Which is
yeah.
nothing.
He's in prison.
The ear biter.
It's nothing. It's a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Let's change
let's
that.
run him over with a wheelbarrow
That's what I pictured. I thought he was going to lay him down like speed bumps.
and smush him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Not
Well, he bit
smushed.
somebody's ear off and poured beer on a drunk person.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, anyways, our last story that we have, we've talked about this quite a bit, where we have pythons are an invasive species.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give an update. This, we talk about how they'll do like these like python challenges, and they're trying
How
to get
many can
as
you tie together, right?
Right.
How many can you
Right.
Okay.
tie in one long
Yeah.
like escape rope.
Exactly.
And so, anyways, they do this challenge because they're trying to get all these invasive species, or as many
course.
as they can, out of the Everglades, because they're just ruining the environment. Well,
Right.
they did that this year. The winner got $10,000. It's only a
Pardon?
10-day challenge, so he made $10,000 in 10 days by removing 41 pythons. I'm not super impressed. Like, I'm not. I mean,
Thank you.
to be honest, I've never removed one python from
That's
anything.
$1,000 a day.
From your neck, you did.
$1,000. I did remove it from my
Yeah.
neck. Yeah,
At
barely.
Gatorland.
though.
What
Yeah.
I'm wondering is, how many snakes did he go in with? Because if it's
Oh,
me,
true.
I'm planting snakes,
easily
that I've been
all
training.
day. Yep.
and then I'm making $1,000 a day to remove them.
Mhm.
That's brilliant,
Mhm.
bro.
All you
Okay.
have to find is like a nest, because the you get little babies. There's like 20 of them stacked.
I
on
don't
top
like
of each
this
other.
story, and I'll tell you why.
Oh,
when I
God.
entered the Python contest in high school, I made no money. So I just feel like this guy made $40,000,
Well, let me tell you.
$10,000.
Also, the last person the person that got last place in this as well got no money. So
Well,
Yeah, you're.
thanks for bringing up
that
bitter memories,
explains a lot.
Wheelbarrow.
God, that would suck to get like 40, and you think you win, and you're like, you got 41.
Well, you can also get money for having the longest snake, which this year was 15 feet 9 inches.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
15
my
feet.
gosh!
So more than 600 people.
Is that lady still making burgers out of them?
Do you remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
she has to be.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
She got 41 new ones.
That's a callback to an older episode.
Was
with-
it Fiona's burger?
She was
snake
making
burgers?
Python burgers, yeah.
But she couldn't get the swamp taste out of the meat.
Well, yeah, no crap.
You're never gonna get
Yeah,
the
of
swamp
course you
taste out.
can't, Fiona.
No.
Goodness gracious.
223 snakes were removed in total.
That didn't seem like anything.
No,
This is the Everglades.
I know, dude. I have that in my backyard.
Yeah.
You're giving away thousands of dollars for a bunch of grown men to go play with snakes.
Yeah.
And then say what? You're saving the
Why
planet?
don't you pay teachers more? How about that?
I regret this story.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Josh.
Hey.
So if you remember, I was attacked by a big cat.
How could we forget?
Thank
How
you.
could we forget?
It was silent though.
Oh, okay. The silent kitty.
And I've now taken it upon myself to get treatment.
Right.
With
Like
no,
counseling?
with no help from, well, maybe eventually, no help from the state
Right.
telling me when to go.
Yeah.
And
And
I had,
sew 3 of your fingers back on.
well, yeah, it was glue.
Mm.
Yeah, but they had like a weird bandage type. So I had a terrible experience
Okay.
in my most recent visit because I had to get a bunch of shots and
Oh, because of the cat attack.
bingo.
Okay.
And I'm hoping before I tell about my terrible experience
Come on.
that you guys can soften it up a little bit.
Mm.
By sharing terrible hospital experiences or like,
Yeah, please. Hospital, clinics. I mean, you go to the urgent care for the Care Bear.
Yeah.
urgent care.
I go to Feisty Owl.
Feisty. That's the one.
That's the one I go
Yeah.
to. I will tell you this. I'm prone to injuries.
Yep.
So I've been to the
Right.
hospital often.
Mhm.
But probably one of the most terrible experiences, and this I wouldn't say it classifies as terrible necessarily, because my wife and I had just had our second daughter.
Okay.
If you're a
Well, it
parent,
seems like it's more on your wife. than-
yeah, it's her fault.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are a parent and you're listening, you know those first hours, days are exhausting. You're not sleeping.
Mhm.
Right.
You've got a new baby.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of fresh anxiety. Worried about my daughter.
Mhm.
She was fine. She was healthy, but I was just like constantly staying up, staring at her, making sure she was okay.
Yep.
And at like 2 a.m, and my wife was like, "Why don't you go for a walk to try and calm down, to try and
Okay.
let off some steam?"
Yeah.
Right.
So I walk around the hospital premises.
Mhm.
I come back in the wrong door. I'm lost. I have a terrible sense of direction.
That's true.
And I'm in the cafeteria. Luckily, they're open a little bit
Good
for the
deal.
midnight hours.
Yep.
I get a bowl of banana pudding because
Always a winner.
I'm starving.
Mhm.
They come in little plastic cups.
You get your fruit. You
I-
get your
Cookie.
pudding.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. My carbs. So
Yeah.
I take the banana pudding outside, and at this point, I'm just looking to not be seen. I don't want the night shift to see me.
Gotcha. Especially with a cup of banana pudding.
Yeah, but I'm delirious. Like I haven't
Okay.
slept in a day. I'm out of it, dude. I have no idea where I'm at.
We
at this
don't
point.
feel bad for you. This happened like 7 years
You
ago.
didn't even give birth.
Yeah, I know. So I walk over in between the buildings, and I find the part where like the air units are, the air handlers
Okay.
outside,
Sure.
and I'm like, if I sit on the other side of these, I can eat my banana pudding in private.
Okay.
And
Sounds weirdly depressing.
I walk
Yeah.
around the corner, and there's a guy in scrubs sitting there.
Right.
Eating
And-
banana pudding.
And I see him, and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." He's like, "No, you're fine. Have a seat." And I'm like, "Okay."
Are there benches?
No, we're on the ground.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting on the ground, and he was like, "You work here?" And I'm wearing, not hospital clothes. And I go, "No." And he goes, "Banana pudding's great." And I go, "Yeah, it is, man. Like
What?
it's really good." And I'm talking to him about like medical stuff, how I just had my daughter and how I'm exhausted. He's
Okay.
telling me stories.
Yeah.
It takes me like a full 15 minutes to realize he doesn't work there. He just sleeps there.
What?
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
yeah, so
Okay.
I-
He's in scrubs?
Yeah, he's in scrubs, but like
well,
once
they
I
probably throw them out all the time.
exactly. And so then he goes, "Well, I'm gonna get some shut eye, man." And I was like, "All right." And then he kind of lays down, and that's when I start
Oh my
like
God.
I start
I
seeing like
love
his
it. Yeah.
kind of like living area, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So like I just kind of
There's a sign that says "Home Sweet Home."
well, I feel
You
bad
didn't
for
even knock.
yeah, I feel
to,
bad
like,
for
come
disturbing
in.
him.
Right.
So I go back upstairs, and Sarah was like, "Oh, you've been gone for like a bit. Like how was it?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I was on an adventure. I met a new friend.
Wow.
I ate some banana pudding in the bushes."
I think he was a spiritual like
God, yeah.
guru.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible experience, but looking back, I was so exhausted. I'm like, man, that was a weird night.
And then you went back in the daytime and everything was gone.
Nothing was there. And I told somebody, and they're like, that guy's been dead for 7 years.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Cameron, how about you?
I think I don't remember if I've told this story
Nobody remembers.
before. I don't remember. But when I was 16, I had to get my appendix taken out.
Okay.
No.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I heard that.
And so, terrible pain all day at school.
Parents didn't believe you.
I think I was 15.
That's what I remember.
my mom did. My dad didn't.
Okay.
So my mom was on my side. My dad said it was gas and I should just,
Go potty.
get over it.
Yeah.
12 hours later, I'm in the hospital lying on the
Worst case of
the
gas
cot
anybody's ever
to get
seen.
wheeled back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've like shaved my stomach and like put it all the antiseptic stuff. They're wheeling me back. I'm like, do you still think it's gas?
Your
And,
dad's like, don't play around.
right.
son."
He's like,
It was
"Don't
such a
joke around.
bad
This
case.
is serious.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he like flipped it on me. No. So anyways, the weird part though was after I had recovered, I think I told the story about finding out that I'd woken up in surgery.
Oof.
Right. Yeah, I do
Right.
remember you saying that.
But even after that, I'm chilling in the hospital recovery room. My grandparents come to see me. The drugs are just like really soaked in
Yep.
Right.
at this point.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
like
That's how
Like
they
a-
describe it.
a drug sponge.
You're
Yeah.
a drug sponge.
Right.
a
This
drug
kid soaks up
sponge.
drugs pretty good.
Yeah.
Give them
really-
some more.
really good at it. And so, I was really like proud to show off my scar
Okay.
from
On
where
your
they
belly.
where they cut into my
Okay.
to take organs out of my body.
That kid won't stop pulling his shirt up.
That was the thing. I didn't have a shirt on. I had a gown on.
Oh,
my
and
goodness.
nothing else in under it. So
Yeah.
my grandma
Okay.
walks in,
you're
and
like-
I'm just like, "Grandma, check out my scar."
No.
And
You
so
showed grandma
yeah.
your
Gosh.
panties.
I didn't
You
have
didn't
any
have
on.
panties
Oh
on.
my gosh.
So that's how drugged
You
up I
flashed
was.
your
that sponge.
grandma.
Yeah, and my girlfriend at the time. So
Oh, you guys weren't even married?
my mom had a lot of questions about that one.
Uh-oh.
Dude, what in the world?
Yeah, because girlfriend didn't act surprised.
This guy
I
goes.
wasn't married to my grandma either.
Well, you go into surgery and you start like just
You
goodness.
get really
gracious.
promiscuous.
Do you?
I
don't think that's
I
The
didn't.
appendix is the organ that really keeps your.
it limits the.
I was about to say because when I went under the knife, I woke
yeah.
up. I was doing devotions
That's true.
Yeah, then,
and drugged up though.
yeah, that must have been your liver.
I think it says a lot about your character.
Yeah.
What you're doing when you come out of like surgery, like either you're showing off your panties
Right,
or you're
yeah.
doing Bible devotion.
That's true.
yeah.
Okay, Josh. Okay, so remind us you were attacked by a big cat.
I was attacked by a big cat.
Now, why were you at the hospital though? Was it because of your injuries or?
So the Department of Health finally reaches back out.
Okay, big government.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, did you get treatment yet?" And I'm like, "No,
From where? Like where would I
Well,
go?
you've been trying to do this
I
for
called
a
the
while.
rabies line.
yeah,
leave a voicemail, and since you guys never return my call,
yeah,
I just thought, okay, it's not a big deal.
right. It's not a big. I'll flex and fight it off.
Yeah, but then they were like irritated at me, like, "No, you got to get treatment.
Why
You
is that your responsibility?
You haven't even gone to the hospital." And I'm like, I
It said
called
to call
you.
the number.
It said to call the number.
yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, well, you should go today, actually. And if you don't go today, I'm going to call you tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay, but how are you going to know?"
Yeah,
Anyways, the next day I went. I didn't go that day because I don't listen to people.
that's right.
Well, you don't want to be forced to.
You've
do
always
Hey,
been
man.
kind of punk rock.
Amen. So I go, and I called Lakeland Hospital,
Yeah,
and I tell them, and I'm like, "Hey,
I'm coming by for a
I'm
rabies.
coming by. I
prepare the rabies.
prepare the rabies.
Yeah,
I just want people to be prepared, and I want to walk in and act like I know where I'm going and what I'm doing."
yeah. I want to be
Right?
in and out. I don't want to
Yes.
hang out. I
Thank
want to be in and
you.
out.
Thank you. So the guy's like, "I only got 5 people in the ER. Come on in." And I'm
Okay.
like, "Oh, jackpot."
Great.
So I get there and I park in the parking garage, and walking down the stairs, I'm in the middle of what I assume is shift change.
Okay.
Because
lots
there's
of
like,
employees.
Yeah, there's 10 nurses in front of me,
Okay.
10 behind me. And so I just follow along at this point.
You're in the employee.
Now
line.
I've lost all autonomy.
Yeah.
Now I'm just one of the crew.
They think you're a doctor.
Yeah. And they start walking in and they start scanning their wrist.
Right.
There's a nice little rope and a woman sitting, I guess, to check the temperature is right on the little device.
Right. Right. Right.
So like I walk, 10 nurses, bleep, good, bleep, insert your wrist, bleep. So I go, And it says good, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
And she goes, "You visiting?" And for some reason that just she said, "You visiting someone?" And now I'm like, I mean, am I visiting someone? No. So I'm like, I don't think so.
They're like, because I mean, I think there's some hesitation. Obviously, like,
Well, are you visiting?
right,
Well, I
the
don't plan
hospital
on
or
staying.
right?
Yeah. What are my
Yeah.
options?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to stay.
Give me multiple choice.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not visiting someone.
Right.
Maybe the doctor.
We're all visiting.
We're all
lady.
visiting in
Yeah.
life.
That's true.
Yeah.
So she goes, okay, why are you here? And because it's a hospital, we all have masks on.
Right. Sure. Sure.
And so I go, hey, rabies. and because mask, she can't read my lips. And there's a line of nurses behind me because there's only one entrance here.
Right.
You got to get past this person first, apparently.
Yeah. The chief nurse.
She says, "You're going to have to speak up." What'd you say?
oh
and I'm
no.
Just rabies. And she's like, "Sir, I'm sorry. I can't hear you with the mask on.
Can you yell your condition?
Don't remove your mask, but just say it clearly for me."
yeah.
So I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm like, I've got the confidence. I'm in a hospital. They've seen worst of the worst.
Oh,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm here for rabies.
You got any?
They scatter. They're like, he's rapping. He's
And-
crazy.
And all the movement that was behind me, like trying to inch around me
Yeah.
to get their wrist in the slot,
Right.
has now just like froze.
Yeah. Oh, they're terrified.
And I'm like, I'm here to get the rabies shot.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, okay. Just go to that security guard table right there.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
5 feet away."
Oh no.
But I still have to get through her.
You're going in the rabbit entrance.
Yeah. So I get to the guard,
Right.
and now a new batch of nurses is kind of walking in behind me.
Yeah.
And the guard's like, "Why are you here?"
Oh no.
No.
And I'm like,
They hand you a megaphone.
I'm here for the rabies vaccine.
They think, well, here's the thing. They think you're so confused. They're like,
Right.
sir, it's COVID-19.
Right.
And you're
This
like,
is
no,
true.
I've gotten that one. It's the rabies
This is true.
vaccine.
I learned to stop adding vaccine at the end of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So then they send me, they go, "Oh, well, you got to exit. You got to exit here." And
What
then,
do you mean?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong spot.
They're not letting you into the hospital?
No, I'm in the main wing.
They're not making it easy for you to be cured
stay
of rabies.
alive.
No,
yeah,
no,
right.
no. So I
Right.
exit the double doors, and they're like, "Just look on the ground, follow the red line."
Right.
So I
This is in
follow
Busch
the-
Gardens.
Yeah, for real. So I walk into the ER, and I got to put my stuff on the belt, and the guy's like, "Are you visiting?" I'm like, "I don't know." At this point, I don't know what.
Please,
happening.
please, can I be done?
God.
Can I be done?
So they let me luckily talk to a nurse, and she's like, "You're in the wrong spot.
Oh my god.
You're in the wrong building.
But you have to come here first anyway. We're going to send you to the fast track." Well, fast track is
The laundry chute.
it apparently the fast track for the rabies vaccine is not fast
Right.
at all. I arrived at 7 and I left at 11.
Holy
geez.
moly.
And that was after 3.5 of those hours were waiting on the shot.
They're
That they tell
probably Googling rabies.
that they
Yeah,
tell
they
me
haven't seen a rabies patient
Oh,
since
yeah.
the 70s.
no, and they're like, "We got order from the pharmacy and it's based on weight." So whoo. And I'm like, "No, what?"
That's hurtful.
Yeah, I'm like the whoo.
Wait, they were probably ordering from the vet, to be honest.
That's probably true.
They probably got a vet to bring over
Well,
some rabies shot.
immunoglobulin. So it's so much liquid, they tell me, that they can't put it all in one spot.
What?
They have to put it obviously in the bite zone,
Right.
which is my thumb meat,
Right.
Yeah.
some of the best meat on my body.
Oh, it's
Right.
a bite zone for sure.
Yeah. And then so I get the doctor and he does the 2 in the thumb meat.
Oh, my
right away.
gosh.
2 shots?
Yeah. And he's like, I meant to tell you those are gonna suck. And I'm like, "Yeah, they suck."
Afterwards.
Yeah. And he's like, "But probably not as bad as the cat, right?" I'm like, It was a bobcat, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
a house cat.
Yeah.
It was a mountain
I'm
lion.
gonna send the nurse in to finish the other 5. And I'm like, what?
He just
Dude.
wanted to see.
Yeah.
He just came in to look.
He gave me the 2 in the old pain zone.
Ugh.
Nurse comes in and she goes, wow, okay. I got a lot to do here. So you're gonna have to get undressed.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, no.
It's your arm.
I'm like, it bit me in the hand,
right.
actually. And she's like, yeah, you're gonna have to take your clothes off.
Wait, what is happening?
I mean,
got-
look at him.
She's like, I got to spread that liquid around. So I got 2 in the thumb meat, 1 in the wrist, 1 in the right arm.
So far, clothes could have stayed on.
Right? Well, you know me. I was wearing nice, but no.
Nice
Right.
vest.
Yeah, pants.
Yeah.
And right arm, and then right thigh.
Oh,
Okay.
there it is.
So
There
all
it
on the
is.
right side is immunoglobulin, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Left side, they were running a special, so I got a tetanus shot
Oh, good.
Jeez.
and then the rabies vaccine.
So
What?
do you feel stronger?
No, super weak actually.
Wait, so the ones that went in your hand wasn't
Those were rabies prevention. Those were what you were supposed to get day 1
Oh, okay,
to
good.
stop the
The spread of rabies.
Yep.
Good,
you
good,
should have
good.
gone to the ER that night that you got attacked.
Oh yeah.
Well,
the
you were
doctor's
busy-
like, I don't even know if this is gonna work.
Oh god.
And he's like,
It's been 2 weeks.
he's like, but it is super expensive.
You're standing there butt
Oh,
naked,
no.
and the nurse is like, "You visiting?"
Yeah.
So, okay, how expensive? I mean, you don't say it on the air, but it's pretty pricey to get these shots.
Well, I don't know. I'll find out. It's gonna be in the bills I ignore file.
Yeah, no joke, bro.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
but the interaction with the nurse was nice. I mean, she looks at the document and she's like, 238. You don't look 238.
Come on, mama.
She's like 238. Get undressed.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what I said. I don't look 238.
yeah.
And she's like, must be all that muscle.
What?
And I'm like, just wait till I take off my shirt. You'll see otherwise.
That's
it is not.
amazing.
Yeah, she was
She's like, oh,
60.
there's the immunoglobulin.
There's that immunoglobulin.
So now I got to see her on Sunday and 2 Sundays after that.
Moses Levi was born 1782 in Mogador, Morocco.
Mogador.
Okay.
That's right.
1780. This is an old one.
1782.
This is an old one.
It
Good
happened a little
catch.
while ago. So Moses' father was a man named Eli,
Mhm.
who was a royal merchant, and he had 3 wives.
Oh wow.
Wow,
is that
this
normal for
Is this
back
a
then?
riddle?
So Moses had 1 mother biologically, but had 3 moms
Oh.
because they lived in a traditional, well, at the time, traditional plural family.
I've seen this Sister Wives.
Right.
Right.
TLC.
In Morocco at the,
The Moroccan
time,
version.
that was basically pretty normal. In 1790, Moses and his parents fled to Gibraltar because they were trying to get away from Jewish persecution in Europe.
wow.
Okay.
So from a very young age, Moses knew what it was like to run from people who wanted to kill him for no other reason other than the fact that he was Jewish.
Jeez.
Woof.
So
That's a lot.
his dad, his 3 moms, his dad was a royal merchant, so they jumped in his boat
Oh, good.
and they leave. So as soon as he was old enough, just like his father, Moses became a merchant,
Mhm.
sailing all around the world, collecting treasures.
Okay. Oh, does royal merchant mean like you work for somebody?
Usually the crown.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
In
but-
this case, it was the Danish crown.
nice.
So yeah, his job is officially, as he grew up, he became a merchant. His job was traveling the world collecting rare treasure. He was a treasure hunter.
I mean, that's
Cool.
pretty dope.
It is really
pretty cool.
dope.
Yeah.
It was a very nomadic lifestyle. Basically, this is how it was described. He would adventure
Mhm.
in these ancient European or North African cities.
Mhm.
He would collect whatever treasure he could locally, and then he would travel to a different part of the world and sell it.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
So like basically like a pot in Egypt isn't treasure necessarily in
Right.
Egypt,
Yeah.
but
for sure.
in London it's a treasure.
Nice.
Right.
So he would just go to these exotic places, collect
Okay.
things, and go to a different exotic place and sell it.
Okay.
That's how he was making a living when he was like 18, 19, 20.
Whoa,
just
fun.
traveling the world, selling treasures.
Can't do that anymore.
Not anymore.
Not
but
with Amazon.
They
Okay.
put him out of business.
Yep.
So here's the thing. During his travels, he goes all over the place. After 3 or 4 years, he ends up in the Danish Virgin Islands where he meets his wife, Hannah.
Nice.
Hannah's
Okay.
father, ironically enough, was also a traveling merchant.
Wow.
Okay.
She's got to feel like special. I mean, this guy's traveled all over,
Right.
and he's like, "You're the hottest."
I'm settling here.
Yep.
This is where I want to be. So it was a natural fit. She comes from a family of merchants. This Moses is a merchant. So she agrees to not only marry him, but to travel the high seas with him.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Nice.
during their time out on the ocean, traveling, collecting treasure, they have 4 children.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Because there's not much to do.
Treasures all in their own.
You know,
Yeah.
I know the next part of this.
What is that?
He gets a little stressed out, goes for a walk, sits next to an old hobo.
Eat some banana pudding. Here's the thing. Eventually, because Moses was such a good sailor and such a good merchant, he had built a reputation for himself. And so he finds himself getting offers from some pretty sketchy people. Okay. He had developed a reputation of the guy that could really get things done out in the
Nice.
ocean. So now he's getting job offers that he can't turn down.
Oh, no.
Because when he was single, like it was enough to make a living just by getting treasure and selling it. Like basically a floating flea market. But now he has a wife. He's got 4 kids. He's got mouths to feed. So he's got to take jobs that are going to pay more than average. But
Yeah,
at the
right.
time,
Yep.
in the late 1700s, 1800s, that those jobs were illegal.
Sketch level increases.
High
but
danger
profit
level.
increases.
Right. Danger
Yes.
goes up.
Right.
Profit goes up.
You guys
Got
to
it.
get the pot to just
100%.
selling pots.
Right.
Stick to
Stay-
pots?
Yeah, under the
Okay.
radar.
Well, right, because initially he was selling clay pots or whatever as
Okay.
treasure. But so one of the first dangerous jobs that Moses took was as a supply runner for this Cuban rebel general named Pablo Murillo.
Okay.
Sounds serious.
Yes.
Yeah, so at this time in history, there's a ton of rebellions happening around this area. And this general needs supplies for his men, like food, gunpowder, various war
Other
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, war spears.
War
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Cannonballs.
The problem was the supplies were all behind enemy lines.
Oof.
So he hires our boy Moses Levi to pretend to just be a normal merchant, but in
Danger
reality,
level up.
danger level up, but money up.
Money
right.
up.
He says, look, hey, pretend to be a normal merchant, but what you'll really do is picking up ammunition for me, and you're going to bring it back to me. So this general's rebelling against his own country,
Mm-hmm.
and now Moses Levi is the guy who's kind of helping him get his ammunition.
Sketch.
That is
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the catch. Moses made so much money from this one job
Okay.
that he and his wife were like, we could probably settle down somewhere.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Like we've scored pretty big.
I
Pulls
wonder
one
where.
job.
Yeah, we don't have to really do this anymore.
One big job.
One big
Yep.
job. So Moses goes, okay, yeah, here's the catch. I've been traveling my whole life.
Right.
I don't know what it means to settle down. I've always lived on the oceans. She goes, look, let's find a spot somewhere we love. Let's find a paradise that we can
Yep.
call our home.
Oh,
You guys know where
I
this
got
is
a
going.
spot for you.
They get a houseboat.
Naturally, Moses and his family decide to settle down in Florida.
Nice.
Finally.
Yeah,
Paradise. Am I right?
paradise. It's like 1805. The issue was now Moses, he's kind of had this taste of the high life.
Yes. Okay.
So he does this one job. He makes a ton of money,
Yep.
and his wife's like, "Hey, let's settle down in Florida.
Right.
Things are gonna be good." And Moses is like, "Yeah, I'll settle down."
Okay.
But deep down, he's like, "All right,
Yeah.
I love that money."
Yeah.
I love that
He
money.
just got some new ropes for the sailboat.
He got a new sail, new beautiful golden sail.
Mhm.
And so he made a big chunk of change running ammunition. And now all of a sudden, he doesn't want to be a treasure hunter anymore. He wants to take large sums of money in one swoop. But as a slippery slope, because as we said, those jobs are all sketchy. They're all
Sketch
dangerous.
level up.
Right, exactly. So for the next several years, Moses Levi finds himself heavily involved in the North Atlantic slave trade.
Okay.
Ugh,
Wow.
Don't like that.
So Moses would transport enslaved people from
Jeez.
all around the world, from one country to another. And in doing so,
Yes.
he's acquiring a fortune.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't like them.
Right. Here's the
No.
catch, though. They're saying now at this point that his boat was struggling to stay afloat because of the amount of gold and stuff on his ship.
Goodness.
And so he's become so extremely wealthy. But here's the thing, it's turned him into this person who's now living a double life
Mm-hmm.
because he's making blood money
Yep.
out
blood
on the
gold.
oceans. But back in Florida, everybody thinks he's like a normal merchant. They don't
Right.
realize where his funds are coming from. So he's transporting enslaved people out in the oceans, comes back to Florida, and they're like, oh, this guy's a successful businessman.
Right.
They're not really
Yep.
connecting the dots.
How many
of,
pots you sell this month?
this guy's
God,
selling a
he's
lot
like
of pots.
50,000.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing. Everybody sees him as like a family man, but he's involved in terrible things.
He's a snake.
He's a
Oof, yep.
slithery, sneaky snake.
Don't like that.
Here's the thing. One trip, he's out and about, and he's doing his terrible things that like he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And historians say that Moses Levi has a spiritual epiphany.
Okay. Wow.
Was it behind the air conditioner in the hospital alley?
eating some banana pudding. So one day while making runs off the coast of Italy, Moses realized that most of the prisoners on his ship were in fact Jewish.
What?
Oh no!
And He has this like moment where he's like, holy crap,
He's
like
the guy.
I escaped from this type
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
torment and persecution as a child. And now here I am, I'm the guy.
You're
I'm
the guy. You're the baddie.
I'm the baddie. I'm transporting
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
that are, of my heritage, and my people, into persecution.
Mm.
And so basically, Moses Levi decides at that point in time, like, I'm going to do the opposite of what I'm being paid to do.
Okay.
So what he starts doing
Okay.
is collecting money. And instead of taking these people to
I
where they're
like
supposed to
it.
go,
I like it.
he takes them back to Florida where he is
Oh.
building a rescue center, basically.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Like a refugee
Okay.
camp.
Like a refugee camp, basically. Okay.
First
so
things first, Moses. You need to go back and catch all the people that you
delivered,
you-
yeah, right, the first time.
Right.
So here's the thing. I think he's trying to make it right. He's
Okay,
now
I
using
get
his
it.
fortunes no longer for selfish ambitions. He
Right.
wants to use his money and influence to help free people, specifically Jewish people, from slavery.
Okay.
And so Moses Levi travels back to Florida.
Mhm.
He and his 4 sons and a few other people that he's recruited, they begin building a safe haven in North Florida called New Jerusalem.
Okay. Wow.
And this isn't the first time, if you think about it, around the same time is when we discussed in an earlier episode, they thought the Garden of Eden was in the same spot in
Yes.
Florida.
Yeah.
For some reason in the
Panhandle really gets it.
exactly. In the early 1800s, people thought that all these biblical towns were actually
Yeah.
in North Florida. But Moses Levi is now building a New Jerusalem for all these refugees in North Florida. So basically, and it's kind of ironic because his name's Moses.
Mhm.
Yeah, you would think he would have put that together earlier.
Exactly. That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
But basically now he wants to do all this for the greater good. So he would accept these contracts from evil people,
Nice.
and then he would bring everybody back to this spot in Florida.
Okay.
And he would use the money he was making to basically pioneer this part of our state.
Cool.
So at this point in history in our state, this is still like woodland. This is
Oh,
like
yeah.
Right.
swampland, like no one's there.
Yep.
He's using this money to acquire 100,000 acres
God.
where he would
Jeez.
build homes, plant gardens, and teach people who have been rescued how to homestead for themselves.
Goodness.
So he has a redemption moment. Once
I
the-
like his new life.
Yes. So once the area was self-sustainable, Moses took his message of abolishing slavery all over the state of Florida.
What year
And-
is this?
This was in 1810.
Oof.
And even into parts of Europe. He wrote letters to influential landowners around the United States, encouraging
Nice.
them to free all enslaved people
Mhm.
and follow a similar model that he had adopted in northern Florida. So Moses gained so much recognition that his letters were being published in high societies around London,
Wow.
Paris, and Moscow. And so these rich aristocratic people
Mhm.
were now siding with his arguments
Wow.
Right.
that
Nice.
people should be free. This is the
Yeah.
way we should be living. So he gained so much popularity that back home in Florida, the governor appoints Moses as the education commissioner in our state
What?
to try and help kind of spread this kind of
Okay.
positive good news,
All right.
bring change to our state.
Go Florida. Okay.
Yes. Here's the thing. We can speculate. We don't
Okay.
know. But shortly after this happened, all this positive change,
Mhm.
on a random trip to White Sulphur Springs, Moses was found dead.
Mm.
Okay.
So the moment he starts making some traction,
Right.
Mhm.
starts doing these really
Making
positive
a
things,
difference.
he's found dead. And so he has this legacy as this treasure hunter who turned, smuggler, who turned basically into a rescuer.
Okay.
Who brought people, to the, this northern part of our state, giving them, safe haven. But that wasn't all his legacy was. His son, David Levi, actually went on to become the first person of Jewish ancestry to serve in the United States Senate. Representing Florida from 1845 until 1851.
Cool.
Nice.
His son David also retired from the Senate and founded the Florida Railroad Company.
Okay.
What?
And became known as the father of Florida's railroads.
What's happening?
Okay. Well, which has
Save
come up in
some.
other stories.
Yeah.
too.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is, like David spent his entire life crediting his father Moses for look, this guy, people don't realize, if it wasn't for the lessons he taught us, we wouldn't have built the state, into having, the railroads and the foundations it has
He
now.
still built it on dirty money, though.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
did.
There
Which,
He definitely did. And that's the thing is, at this point in history, late 1700s, early 1800s, a lot of things
90% of the money was dirty.
a lot of things were awful, and it was blood money.
That's no excuse.
No, but I'm saying, but he did pivot later on in life to try and make up for it.
Well, he didn't get a name change, which is what I was hoping for.
Right. Well, it is kind of ironic that Moses set out to rescue Jewish people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, some of the old literature says, Moses discovers promised land in Florida.
Wow.
So it is kind of
Okay.
ironic.
I mean, it's right there.
it's
You have
clever,
to
yeah.
use it.
Yeah, it's part of our history that it's dark, but it does have some encouraging pieces
Right.
towards the end. But yeah, that's Moses Levi.
I mean, I guess technically his boat was splitting the sea while it was traveling, right?
the splitting the Red Sea. Yes,
Amen.
yes, it was.
I think so.
That dirty money.
Listen, we mentioned it earlier on in the episode. Patreon.com/FMOFM podcast. It's where you get all the bonus stuff. We hang out with you. We have an investors tier on there where we will chat with you on Zoom, hang out with you, get to know us better, and you really get to see an
Those are
intimate
so
look.
fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. We
love
spent this
those.
past week doing that with all of our investors, and it's a blast. We love getting to know you better and letting you into our lives. So yeah, patreon.com/FMOFM podcast. Same for social media. Same handle. We love you guys. Reach out and
Touch us.
This is 142. Yeah, touch us.
Yeah, reach out and touch us.
Yeah, reach out, touch somebody.
Touch that thumb meat.
Touch Josh's thumb meat.
And have some banana pudding.